Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you Game 2 in a series between IMMvp versus SlayerSCella. Game 2 taking place here on Metalopolis, and I'm looking forward to Game 2. Now, IMMvp definitely no slouch in Game 1, spawning as the red Terran player here at the 3 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Scella spawning at the 12 o'clock position as the blue Zerg. So it is going to be Zerg versus Terran once again, and really nice to see how effective MVP was with Hellions that didn't have blue flame, able to get a lot of damage, able to just prevent Scella from being able to power drone. And then after evening up the drone count for a little bit of time, he was able to just simply time his attack and push in with Marines and tanks. A lot of reinforcements coming in to finish up the job after IMMvp tried to run in with some Marines and with some Zerglings and Banelings. Anyways, so far we'll see what's going to be happening here. The Overlord has spotted his opponent, and I do not believe IMMvp knows about his opponent's location just quite yet. He's just still going to fly or still continue to train up SCVs. You can see that this is not the BattleNet version of the map. There is not additional vents along this backside. So that also means that units cannot hide in the back over here. We are getting a front door. We'll see what MVP does in just a moment. Will he be able to spot that Overlord is the question. And a drone has not made its way down. So without a drone, I'm curious as to what Scella's going to go for. It looks like he may be trying to go for, yes, an early hatchery down here at the natural expansion, perhaps trying to get up a stronger economy. It will be a little bit delayed as an Overlord now starts to fly in. The Overlord now looking for that all-important gas. He does spot it, knowing that there is not going to be mass Marines now. And this Overlord just flying around in here, just getting a lot of information now, knowing that an orbital command has been built. It is not going to be any crazy sort of first command center, as an SCV now is on the move and will be able to head up that ramp in just a little bit of time. Drones still being queued up. The spawning pool about 1/3 of the way completed already, as we should be getting into, I believe, a supply depot and then a factory. So delaying that supply depot just a little bit. He should be able to get up a factory in just a little bit, in just a couple more seconds. Needs about 2 more trips with that gas. And then is he going to go for a factory, or is he going to actually try to do something else? We can see more SCVs still being trained. No factory as of yet, as we now see a bunker being placed down by MVP. MVP doing a good job, though, building the bunkers in a location where it's difficult for you to get to that SCV, but the SCV here may get destroyed. Yes, it does get taken down at 5 hit points. If the SCV had just moved along his merry way off onto this side here, he would have been able to continue to build a fresh Marine, and now 2 Marines going to be putting pressure on this location here, but the Marines know that they cannot do any serious damage at all, as now we are going to see the orbital command just continue to train SCVs, and we are now going into a factory with a reactor. So we are going to be getting double Hellions here as a response. We are also going into roaches, so we know that Scella's going to try to use those roaches to push back any of those Hellions from dealing any economic damage at all. The liftoff and the swap should be taking place in just a moment now. The reactor is being completed. There it goes. A factory now going to land here, take its position, and now double train those Hellions, as we also have another command center which most likely will be upgraded to an orbital command. 5 roaches being trained, though, so those roaches going to be able to easily shut down those Hellions, especially as we get more queens with creep tumors. Currently, no creep tumors out yet, only 1 queen amongst the 2 bases. So it looks like I believe Scella is going to have a little bit of a problem trying to counter this, but these roaches now may be able to deal a little bit of early damage. The Hellions are now making their way in. The roaches may be able to get some damage onto those Hellions. Yes, going to be able to start attacking. 1 Hellion going to get destroyed. Yes, and now this 1 Hellion is going to be forced to pull back. You can see an Overlord now trying to run away, but these roaches are going to get some free shots now onto those units. So it looks like, yeah, more damage being had. 1 Marine gets destroyed at the cost of 1 Overlord, but the roaches are now pushing their way up front, perhaps going to be able to deal some damage. No Overlords in this position, though, in order to shoot up onto the high ground, and now trying to get some damage onto the reactor. The reactor taking a bit of damage so far. More Hellions being added. But this is one of those situations where IMMvp has to be very, very careful, as more damage still being had, more Hellions being added on once again. It looks like the reactor will get taken down. SCVs are not going to be able to make their way over in time, and now you can see that these roaches are dealing so much damage, shutting down SCVs, and now also even shutting down those Hellions. The Hellions may be able to get a splash attack off. Yes, finally able to shut that down with the help of one Marauder. But a lot of damage was dealt. Worker kills, 7 worker kills already, as this one roach now going to perhaps try to focus down a lower hit point Hellion. That Hellion is now trying to back off. A new Marauder coming in. The Marauder does not have concussive shells though, so it is not going to be able to slow down and focus down this last roach. We are going into more queens. We should be teching to tier 2 soon. Otherwise, those roaches are not going to be able to move nearly as quickly as they need to. And in order to engage those Marauders and also these Hellions, you can see IMMvp now sitting on 22 SCVs. He does have an additional mule off of that command center, so that will really help him out. We'll see if anything else is going to come of that, as a hatchery now being placed down. So a very, very aggressive scout. Oh, sorry, a very, very aggressive expansion, but I do not believe MVP knows about it. No, he did not take the time to activate the Xel'Naga tower. The Hellions are now going to back off here. Perhaps if they walk up to that tower, they will in fact see that there is this one hatchery being built over here. If SCella is able to saturate this gold mineral patch, he will have a very, very strong economy going into the mid-game. You can now see more drones being added, more overlords need to be added as well. Perhaps another hatchery, as we can see, he's sitting on 700 resources. That is a lot of resources to be sitting on at this time, and we'll see what else is going to come of this. We can currently see 3 Hellions here. The Hellions may try to go up that ramp once more. No, not going to go up the ramp, just going to simply drive by. There is 1 queen, 2 queens in position. A lot of drones here. Are the drones going to get spotted? The Hellions now perhaps going to try to chase up here. The drones now trying to run away. We are going to torch down one of those units, as 3 Hellions can still one-shot. The Marines now shutting down this Overlord. So the scouting Overlord in the center has been destroyed. And where are these drones going? The drones now trying to transfer over here onto the high ground. Perhaps 2 to 3 spine crawlers need to be added as well. 2 to 3 spine crawlers will do just a lot here, as we now see him sitting on 700 minerals. That is a lot of minerals to be had right now. We'll see what he's going to be able to dump it into. He needs to get as much gas as possible as he techs to tier 2, perhaps going in for a lot more Mutalisk. Roach is now down on the low ground. Marauders bringing up the rear Hellion, so that those Marauders are just going to simply melt away to those roaches. You can see that there's an engagement here, and the Marines do know about the hatchery over here on the high ground. You can see the roaches now trying to push their way in. The Marauders doing a good job focusing down the rest of those roaches. The army size of MVP is just so large, as the roaches are trying to utilize that high ground efficiency in order to take or deal damage to all of these Marauders. Hellions, Queen now getting destroyed as well. Roaches coming in to reinforce still. The Hellions now getting destroyed as well. Roaches trying to focus down those Hellions first, even though the Hellions are not the real source of damage against those roaches. Roaches still trying to finish this off here. 2 of those Hellions gonna finish this off, and it looks like even more Hellions still surviving. Drones coming off the mineral line, and this is not looking good for SCella at all. Roaches still trying to engage against those Marauders. This is not looking good. Still sitting on 6 roaches. Glio Reconstitution finally being built. You can see the concussive shell slowing down that roach there, as this very just tightly packed group of units will be able to deal so much damage to the hatchery and now shut down the natural expansion. The roaches still trying to come in a single file line as opposed to trying to swarm up. That is going to be a bit of a problem, but there are going to be a lot more Zerglings now going to engage. The Zerglings, however, not going to be able to come down that ramp. Hatchery will get destroyed. There are 2 spine crawlers here, not mining any gas at all, as Zerglings now try to swarm in and finish off the rest of these Broodlords. 1 Roach also going to engage as well. Broodlings getting in some damage as well. Zerglings may perhaps be able to get a decent surround, as another Hellion gets taken down. More Hellions still reinforcing, as Zerglings still just rush into this position here, trying to destroy it. Harvester count 32 compared to 44. There are 2 spine crawlers more and a queen, enough to perhaps draw a line in the sand, as those Hellions are going to be able to shut down these creep tumors. You can see a nice cancellation there, making sure that creep tumor is allowed to spawn another creep tumor in just a moment. Marauders now making their way off to the north. You can see the spine crawler going to get focused down very quickly. There it goes. More roaches coming in. MVP just so dominating here. A transfusion trying to keep the spine crawler alive. More roaches coming in from behind. but I believe that is going to be all she wrote. Actually, no, a very large influx of roaches all of a sudden coming in, and MVP may have enough to perhaps destroy the rest of these roaches, the rest of these Hellions and these Marauders, as those roaches are running straight in and able to do a nice counterattack there. Harvester count not in favor, 30 compared to 44. More Zerglings are now swarming in, though, so the roaches may be able to have a very nice timing in order to shut this down. SCVs coming off the mineral line. Will it be enough to save this one bunker? It looks like it will be able to. SCVs all trying to repair. It looks like the roaches are now going after those Marauders, and now Zerglings coming into swarm as well. More SCVs trying to repair. Not enough surface area. The roaches, however, are getting destroyed as Zerglings are now trying to push their way through. It doesn't look like it will work at all. The Zerglings not able to get through that Terran armor. Plus all of those SCVs repairing it, doing a great job keeping that bunker alive, as Zerglings now getting destroyed once more. Harvester count 23 drones compared to 36 SCVs, plus the additional mules that we have coming in from Terran. These Zerglings able to finish off down over here. No expansion here. We are going to get it rebuilt. No queen being trained up, though, as we are now all running off of one base. You can see that there is a spawning pool down here. The queen currently trying to spawn more larvae. We are getting a decent amount of gas and now going into a spire, but will it come up in time? It is the key question, as we are now going into a major racks play. Where is that starport? The starport no longer being built, an SCV being pulled off, finally getting recalled on, and will be able to start double training Vikings and perhaps medevacs as well, as we are seeing a lot of bio play. Triple reactors, a lot of Marines will be added. No level 1 weapons upgrade has been completed. No armor upgrades, though, as the Zerglings still wander around. Right now, SCella hoping to try to fight his way back into this game. And meanwhile, we can see MVP sitting back, relaxing just a little bit, hoping to macro up such a large army that his next attack will not be able to, or will not be stoppable, as we are now also going into the combat shield as well. 6 Mutalisks are being trained. Hellion's going to run in here, get some easy kills on some very exposed drones. More drones getting just taken down. Another drone gets taken down. Zerglings now trying to surround and swarm. It looks like those Zerglings will be able to finish off some of those Hellions. Now trying to get into that early position there. Zerglings now trying to finish off this last Hellion here. But MVP going to retreat simply with these 2 Hellions, and now be able to secure another expansion, as he does have a significantly larger army. Harvester count 49 to 40, but those Mutalisks and those Zerglings are not going to be able to deal that much damage at all, as these Hellions once again looking for some easy targets, and it looks like, yes, more drones will get destroyed. Mutalisks are now finally in the air. They should be able to shut down all of those Hellions. Hellion harassment will be at a minimal now, but missile turrets have been added at the main base and at the natural. No missile turret at the natural expansion yet, but I believe one will be incoming shortly, especially with so many Marines and tanks. This will be a very dangerous line to try to bust. A siege tank can easily siege right here, start destroying this hatchery. It looks like the siege tank's going to siege up on the low ground in order to destroy the hatchery, giving a little bit more forward position there. A second siege tank will be sieging up as well. You can see Mutalisks going after all of these missile turrets here, but the missile turrets do in fact complete. The Zerglings need to finish off the missile turret. Meanwhile, we can see the Marines and the Marauders going to shut down this hatchery with little to no issue, and there is the GG. SCella losing the IMMvp Game 2. Stay tuned for another game between these two players, IMMvp and SCella.